welcome to the future. Wait, no, it won't work because we're recording this
in the past.
In the past.
Hello from the past, future men.
Oh, they're the future. Let's pick a year. Hello to people watching.
No, you told me not to do that last time.
Hello, people watching 2037.
Because I said a thing. I said something. What was it? I said something about 2017.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hello, people from 2017. And it was some specific date. And then we got a bunch of folks saying, I'm actually watching this when you said that I would be. And it was funny, but Tom didn't like all the
emails.
The extra amounts of comments.
The noise.
I don't know.
Well, I said 2037 now. I'll let my kids deal with this.
Okay. 2037, the year in which all these games shall come to pass. Except
hopefully,
except the couple that are alternate history.
Only one of mine will come to pass, hopefully.
I could see that one coming to pass. No, not that one.
It's a pretty bleak future if a few of these happen.
All right, so we're doing our top 10 science fiction games. And just to clarify, we've already done a top 10 space-themed games. So these are not space-themed, supposedly. Although one of mine actually has the word space in the title.
I wonder what that one means. I wonder what that one is.
Okay. Space.
Another.
I guess we'll get to that, but I can't think of it. But it's not set in space, but it has the word space.
Well,
it is.
Are you like arranging shelves in the future? I know what it is.
It is definitely set in space. I was going to include it on this list, but I decided not to because it actually takes place on a spaceship.
Well, no, here's the thing.
Yeah, son.
So I know which one it is.
All my games, all my games that would be in space are actually inside something in space, so I didn't count that.
Whoa.
I didn't do that last week for my space list. All my space
So planet surfaces on other planets, that's okay, right?
Yes.
Shouldn't be.
Sam, come on, bro. That was a softball.
Should not be.
That was a softball, Cat. I know you're doing it. So am I.
All right. Well, let's see. Well, I could see it going either way, except mine are correct. All right, so here we go.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10 is a game that I've just played only recently, and that's why it's really at my number 10. I think this will probably rise higher than some of these other games, provided I get to play it more than I have already. And that is called GKR Heavy Hitters. Giant Killer Robots Heavy Hitters.
I like
this
how
is
these
a
are
really
huge
cool.
robots.
Yes, they are. They stand like about that tall off the table. Then there's usually like 3 other support craft, possibly more.
Wow.
But basically, you're taking your faction of robots against everybody else's in this huge cityscape. So there's like skyscraper buildings that are next to you, but this is all on the board, and that's one of the really cool things I liked about it. I like the fact of the scope of it was so huge, but it's a miniatures game, so it's like really small. But I love the skyscrapers. You can tag the skyscrapers. You can shoot people. You can, other robots. They're not really people. I guess people are inside the robots driving them.
I'm pretending you're in that robot.
Yeah.
I don't abstract it out.
That's oh my goodness. This is why he doesn't have to go to a shrink.
Okay.
He just plays board games instead.
Works stuff out.
Like, wait, my robot doesn't hang out of a budgeting.
But GKR Heavy Hitters was, I think, made for this list. It is a great game. It's very fun. It doesn't take itself seriously, which is another thing I like about it. It has that theme where you play cards that has little flavor text on the bottom of them, and it's like people are announcing, this next hit is from Bashalad, all this other, whatever it is. And
that's cool.
It's just a really fun game. I like it a lot. GKR Heavy Hitters, number 10.
What planet is it on?
That's
Whatever
okay.
you want
Whatever
it to
planet
be.
it's on is okay. Go with me on this one, please.
All right, my number 10 is... It's number 10 because...
Does it have the word space in it?
No. It's number 10 because it should have more sci-fi in it, and it doesn't. And that is Time Stories.
Okay.
Time Stories is definitely
Interesting.
sci-fi because they're putting us in pods, and it's in the future. They're sending you back into people's bodies. It's so sci-fi.
Oh.
It's just that
that's what's going on.
every time you get into a scenario,
Shut up, it's on your list.
most of the time they take the sci-fi parts out of it.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like...
That's true. It's like sci-fi for like, if you were watching an episode of Time Stories, it would be sci-fi the first 5 minutes, and then it's just ancient Egypt or something.
Yeah.
Actually, I think a good comparison would be, what's that movie where the guy kept Quantum Leap. It's a little bit like Quantum
Time
Leap,
cop,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like, hey, it's sci-fi, and every once in a while it will show up in the middle of a scenario, and so
That's true.
They have a couple of really cool that are time stories-esque TV shows on right now.
Really?
Yeah, one is called The Travelers.
I've heard of that.
It's
but
kind
like
of
some teenagery a little bit.
no. This actually no. Time Traveler. The Travelers is what it's called, and it is very, very, very close to like what Time Stories is.
Ooh, I'm on that.
But I mean, they don't go into like medieval times and stuff like that. It's from the future coming back to present day
Okay.
and doing stuff.
Oh, yeah, I saw the first episode of that, and then there's the other one where I was remembering they are going in the past.
Yes.
That's that one on network TV.
Right. I can't remember the name of that one, and that's actually my favorite one. But Travelers is on Netflix. But anyway,
Cool.
getting back to the list.
All right.
All right, my number 10 is my number 10, not because I like it the least. I actually thoroughly enjoy this game, but it's the sci-fi is, I needed a number 10, folks. The sci-fi here is window dressing. I mean it. My number 10 is Sentient.
Sentient.
Yeah.
Fortunately for you, I haven't played this, so you can pretend that it's super.
It's actually quite thematic. In the game, you
tell me more.
are you're going to be constructing robots, and you are going to be furthering the sci-fi police activity in the future by appealing to different factions. I'm making all this up. You're gathering cards. They have sci-fi pictures on them. That's sci-fi enough for me. Sentient is a very good puzzly game. It's very quick. I always feel like I am engaged. You're such a dork. I know. I'm trying to ignore him. I always feel like I'm engaged in how to manipulate my little tableau best to just sort of get everything going, everything working together. It's one of those games where the gears, you can tell, like this gear turning moves all these other ones. I like that in games a lot. And yeah, it's sci-fi, but it could be anything. Anyway, Sentient is my number 10.
You had trouble getting 10. I thought sci-fi was more down your alley.
And I realized it isn't.
Well, we'll get
I have a list, but the game is so good. That's the reason also I put it on the list, because I want to mention it because it's a fantastic game.
All right.
Number 9.
All right, so I guess I should be mentioning how
Space.
much I want these to be sci-fi. Number 10, Time Stories, whatever. Number 9, I hope this one never happens.
Aw.
This one is Dinosaur Island. It's very sci-fi. It's Jurassic Park, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of, it already did happen.
We haven't been cloning dinosaurs yet.
No, sir.
No, but I'm just saying it's.
You don't get to
It
go.
happened a long time ago.
Not with people around.
No,
Anyway, in Dinosaur Island, you are pretty much, it's Jurassic Park.
Definitely not with a computer. And like, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. You didn't say the magic word. That didn't happen.
Those computers are no longer sci-fi. You look at that, you're like, my phone is better than
You're
that.
like, oh man, Samuel L. Jackson's cigarette is more tech heavy than that computer.
And the girl happens to know, what is it, Linux or what is
She's
she?
like, I know this. I would love to see her do that and just get like a blue screen of death, like, oh, we're gonna die.
But there is a lot of the whole getting the, freezing the genes and all
Yeah.
that. I thought it was a pretty
Cloning.
neat movie. I really liked it. And this game does the same thing. So that is Dinosaur Island, my number 9.
My number 9,
Which happens on Earth.
It happens on Earth, yes. So does my number 9, and I certainly hope it comes to pass. It's only my number 9 again because of how abstracted the game feels to me and to most people. It's Neuroshima Hex.
Ooh.
Which again,
I'm surprised.
I really like the game. It's one of my favorite games ever, really. But it is, I put a lot of theme into it when I play, or I try to. But yes, it's hexes on a map, and you are sort of setting up fighty puzzles and then shooting and removing pieces. I like it a lot. It's obviously post-apocalyptic, which is a setting I really enjoy, but there's not that many games in that setting that I actually like, which is too bad.
I was wondering if you could make a top 10 post-apocalyptic, and how many on this list are going to be post-apocalyptic.
Well, I excluded
I don't think so, man.
I excluded that one and 2 others, really, but one actually made it onto his list because it was post-apocalyptic. I didn't think that post-apocalyptic would qualify as sci-fi.
Well, they show it on the Sci-Fi Channel, but I'm just kidding.
No, and we're not going there.
If that's your only argument, I win.
My next one is going to be Sharknado. Anyway, that's my 9, Hiroshima X.
All right, my number 9 is the fourth one that would have been excluded, but I decided to go ahead and let this one in, but this one only. That is Pandemic Legacy. Pandemic Legacy is sci-fi to me.
Why would you say that being excluded? I'm okay with this.
Because it's actually post-apocalyptic. It's not... Well, actually, the reason I really and I'm going to bring this back up, is because when I originally said that Pandemic is sci-fi, you guys were like, no.
Yeah, but that was Pandemic. Pandemic Legacy definitely happens in the future.
Well, again, Pandemic also happens in the future.
No, it happened.
No.
If you got that door, there's nothing there. We are the last 3 people
Right.
home.
Oh my gosh, that got dark quick.
I could turn everything dark. This whole show.
All right, I like it.
But anyway, Pandemic Legacy, I think, has more of a sci-fi feel than I think Pandemic is sci-fi. But I think Pandemic Legacy with Season 1 and Season 2 feels more sci-fi because of all of the extra stuff. And we're not going to spoil any of that. But all of the extra stuff that happens, it's not just containing diseases anymore. There's a little bit more to it than that. But... I really enjoy the game a lot. I like Legacy better than regular Pandemic for its storyline and it's everything that carries with that storyline. I really like that. I can't wait for Season 3, hopefully, to come out. I think they are making it, right?
It's going to be even more sci-fi.
Yeah, right.
Extra sci-fi, man.
No, not going to play the prototype. I'm just, waiting for the real thing to come out. But anyway, that's my number 9, Pandemic Legacy. You can choose 1 or 2. My favorite is probably 2.
Number 8.
Okay, doke. My number 8 is certain to get me some garbage. Let's kick it off.
Make it dark.
Here we go.
Or is that dark?
No, it's not dark. It's just old. It's based on an old property, which is technically, when it's set, sci-fi. I guess. It's Thunderbirds.
That's sci-fi.
Sure.
But they're all dead now.
Ah! They're all dead now. What's wrong with you? It's so dark.
Jeez.
Gosh. Anyway, Thunderbirds.
You really were scraping the bottle and barrel here.
No, Thunderbird's definitely a sci-fi. I went back and forth on them.
Yeah, it's like
they
old
just have a
sci-fi,
lot.
but it's sci-fi.
The reason I decided to go, okay, this is fine, this works for me, is because of the, I went back and forth on the technology. Like, okay, they got pretty advanced technology in the show, which wasn't quite around, but just by itself, it wasn't quite selling it, but they have a space station they fly up to regularly. And they can shoot lasers from space and stuff, so I'm like, all right.
Should have been on last week's
what?
list.
Did you say space?
No, suborbital. It's like no.
Suborbital's okay?
It was in space. It was a space station.
No, it's more like in subspace.
Subspace.
Where isn't subspace like
where
where they
Ant-Man
jump
goes.
to? No, that's quantum leap. Anyway, Thunderbirds is a cooperative game from the same guy who designed Pandemic, actually. And I really enjoy it. I don't think it gets a lot of attention. I don't think it gets a lot of love. It's not a theme I knew anything about really when I first played. I've now watched a couple of episodes, and I like the vibe. It's a very, it's got a good vibe. It's got a good positive vibe, like go get them, save the world, everyone work together. I like it. It works. And the cooperation in the game is solid and interesting, and I really enjoy it. There's some expansions for it. Those are good as well. The whole thing, I'm really happy with it. So, my number 8, Thunderbirds are go.
Thunderbirds done went. Number 8.
That'll be next.
You can't argue with that.
Thunderbirds don't went.
Done went. That's right. My number 8 is actually it's a standalone expansion to its predecessor called Xenoshift Onslaught. But Xenoshift Dreadmire is my favorite version of that game, and that's why it has made my list and not its original form. The reason I like Dreadmire more is because it enters into providing for different kinds of weather that's going on at the same time, which affects how good you are able to play or not.
If you didn't think the aliens were bad enough,
Right,
fight them in the
exactly. Yes.
Weather, huh?
Yes, it puts weather into it, and it
It's a very simple mechanism.
makes the game a lot harder. Yeah, it's not that
I've
difficult.
never played either one, so
But it's a really cool. I don't know, how would you define this? Not really
Isn't it a
deck
deck
building.
building?
It's
Thought it was.
it's a cooperative
It's a
kind of
cooperative
deck
deck
builder. Yeah, because you are buying certain things out of a pool, putting it into your deck, but your deck isn't just for you. You can help other people fend off the aliens in their part of the base. As well. So that's one of the other reasons why this is like a step above regular deck builders for me.
okay.
Because you can not only you need to fend off the aliens in your area too.
Right.
But maybe you're doing okay on your side, but he's really hurting.
Yeah, but forget that. Good luck with that. Here's an
No,
umbrella
you're
in
all
case it
part of the
rains.
same base.
Weather? You said weather? Here you go, buddy. Here's a
But,
poncho.
So we're looking for a new promo. Z's Umbrella.
Yeah, Z's Umbrella for Xenoship Dreadmire. Anyway, Xenoship Dreadmire, my number 8, a great cooperative deck builder. Go check it out.
Very similar in theme as my number 8, probably higher on Sam's list, and that is Level 7 Omega Protocol. This is a game in which you are getting a bunch of Marines, going into a base, and fighting off aliens that are coming out. It's essentially Alien the movie with... Aliens the movie.
Yes.
With... Except that hopefully the Marines are not as dumb.
Talking about, man. They
Marines
were very
weren't
smart.
dumb. Marines weren't
Express
dumb in
elevator to hell
aliens.
going down.
They made a lot of dumb mistakes.
What are you talking about, man?
They were fighting an
sweep
alien
down.
race that they had never
Yeah, I know,
encountered
man.
before.
Game
Well, right,
over,
so in
man.
this-
Game over. Why don't you put
So
her
in this
charge?
game, though, the Marines know what they're getting into.
Yes.
Apone.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's a lot of fun. It's a one versus all game. One person's the Overlord, the other people are
Ah.
That works too.
Yeah.
the aliens. So that's Level 7 Omega Protocol.
How do
By
you-
the way, you can take the other Level 7s off this list. They're not worth it.
They're not
Level 7
good,
Omega
yeah.
Protocol.
How do you feel regarding this on a sci-fi versus horror scale? Because that was a few games for me that would have been sci-fi.
yeah, I thought
that could have
about-
maybe made it. I'm like, no, that's horror for me.
I think I would go by how it's classified. Like, I think Alien, the movie, is sci-fi horror. I think Aliens is more action-adventure.
And this feels like an action movie.
Like. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Number 7.
Much like Tom's Dinosaur Island, but this is Raptor for me, my number 7, which is, again, I mean, there's scientists running around trying to capture dinosaurs, and there's raptors running around. That's sci-fi enough for me. And it also is, in some ways, very cinematic. You've got fire erupting, you've got people trying to corral these creatures, you've got the whole clever girl thing happening every now and then, where you'll have a raptor sneak up somewhere and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, that guy's dead, you know? So it's
I
got
like playing the Raptors.
It's got that feeling to it, and it's a great, tactically rich, and in some ways, surprisingly thematic two-player game. And the reason I say that is because it really does seem like an abstract game, and in many ways it plays like one. I even know that wasn't the original theme. We found this out. But man, if that theme doesn't fit well, you know,
Yeah, it does.
it's a really interesting, clever two-player game. So Raptor is my number 7. Wow.
So Z
My
said,
Raptors always sound like kitty cats.
Yes.
Z said that post-apocalyptic is okay.
Of course it is, man. Science was involved.
My number 7 is Defenders of the Last Stand.
Oh, absolutely.
That's like all the post-apocalyptic
fantasy.
stuff that you can
That's-
think of thrown into one game. Just like Mad
Writing.
Max, it's in there.
Yes.
Mutants from the Future, they're in there.
Yes.
Escape
Are there
from New York.
robots in that? I know there's a giant moo cow that one of the characters rides. It's a science fiction cow.
No, but it's definitely that whole people are mutating.
Radiation and stuff, that worked for me.
Yeah, and I
Science
really like
fiction.
this game. It's obviously a sequel, very direct sequel to Defenders of the Realm, but it's fun for me. I'm not a post-apocalyptic person at all. If there's like a post-apocalyptic movie on, I'm like,
Oh, I love it.
because everyone's so grimy, no one washes.
Makes me feel better about being me. Let's just put it that way.
Water love.
If I'm sitting on the couch watching a post-apocalyptic movie, I'm like, I am clean. You know what I mean? I just feel better about being me.
I don't need to take a shower today.
I don't eat
They haven't
people.
washed in like a month.
They're fine.
I'm good.
They're surviving. Oh, they just died. I'm gonna go take a quick bath.
So, thanks for staying on topic. Anyway, a
welcome.
great cooperative game. I like it a lot. It has a lot of adventure in it too.
Yes.
And little guys running around on bikes, cool miniatures and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Defenders of the Last Stand.
Where we at?
Which happens on Earth.
I think I see me. Did you do your 7?
Yes.
He did his 7.
Yep.
So it's my turn.
Do it.
All right, my number 7 is a game that is actually kind of an alternative history,
Fantastic.
more than it is any futuristic thing, but it is still sci-fi in my opinion. That is the game Scythe. Scythe has a whole bunch
Counts.
of weird
That's why he didn't give you garbage
stuff.
on Thunderbirds.
Well, no, I just didn't even
No,
think about
Thunderbirds is not really alternate history, though.
No, but I'm saying they're both older sci-fi. Like Scythe is like if you go back and we went a different path.
Right.
Thunderbirds was the same way. If we followed that
Not
path.
really. Only now.
Yeah, now.
But
sure.
when it came out, it was set then.
And had Scythe come out in 1910, sci-fi.
Sure, yes, but now it's also sci-fi, but alternate history sci-fi. Anyway,
Aren't you glad we're
Yes.
having this this
No,
I
non-conversation?
really like that genre overall.
You're just further
Alternate
solidifying
history, yeah.
my choice. That's all. This
not
is not the
arguing. We got your
only.
back. We're
This is not the only one that's going to fall into that category either.
I like that stuff.
So sci-fi, Scythe, definitely there. I just love the setting. It seems very. I know it's sci-fi, but it seems just very real. It has a
Yes.
very real feel to it because
Yes.
you have these big, huge mechs that are walking across this landscape, but there are people tilling the fields right in the same picture. So I just like that smashing together of those two worlds, and the game is very fun as well. Not just talking about the artwork. So that's my number 7, Scythe.
I missed this one when I was going through the list.
Really?
Yeah, this was a harder list for me to make than the space one. The space one, I was like, done. Sci-fi, I was like, oh, I gotta look a little harder.
I thought this list was going to be easier for me, and then I started to put it together. Not so easy. I guess I like a lot of real world settings, man.
Well, I had yeah, this was not very difficult for me at all. There's a lot of sci-fi that's out there that
I think I'm
really
a poser.
enjoy.
That's probably what it is.
No,
and I
you're
need
not
to
a
bathe
poser.
way more frequently.
I agree.
Number 6.
My number 6 takes place on another planet.
It does have the word space in it.
No, but it has the word Mars in it. It's terraforming Mars. It's about real world sci-fi, like, hey, we're going to terraform another planet. And you do so throughout this game. Now, it's definitely a Euro game where you're, playing cards to build an engine, but the stuff makes sense. I'm adding water to Mars here. I'm building this river. I'm building these cities. I'm drilling down to the core, different things like that.
Okay.
I don't think you've played this game yet, have you?
I haven't.
You probably hate it.
Yes.
But the theming is really good. It's sci-fi, but realistic sci-fi to the point where, like, in 30 years, this might be
Actually, I
not
think
sci-fi at all.
I think it's not realistic at all.
You don't think Mars can be terraformed?
Have you ever heard of anything else being terraformed?
Well,
I terraform
no,
my
but maybe
backyard
in 30,
once.
40 years, they'll be able to
I'm just saying, I think that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was less sci-fi than terraforming Mars is.
I don't know what Arnold Schwarzenegger movie we're talking about.
Oh God.
The one where he has the thing then that comes off.
Yeah,
and
the amazing scene. 3 weeks. Come on, man, that one. Where are you from, ma'am? 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And then, like, the fake face, he throws it and explodes. Which also, if you are aware of it, he was wearing a bomb around his face the whole time.
Yes, that's true.
Because that thing explodes as
Yeah.
he throws it. It wasn't a grenade, it was a mask. I won't put it on. Just
So,
I mean, but even then, the only reason that they were able to terraform Mars was because of some ancient alien technology.
oh,
they had not terraformed
And
it.
they
were
had
inside
not yet
bubble.
done it.
no, I get that, I get that.
They
I
had
don't
to
think-
live inside. They couldn't live outside. So
Well, either way, this is a good choice for the list because it's an amazing game, Terraforming Mars.
Cool.
okay,
It's not on their lists.
it's not.
I haven't played it, so no. Is it me?
No,
Yeah.
it's Sam.
Oh, it's me. All right, my number 6.
Tell me it's on another planet.
It's not. It's on this planet, but it
Boring
has
planet.
definitely that sci-fi feel to it. But this is one of those ones that you guys were talking about back up at 8 and 9s and 10s.
Terraforming Earth.
About not being
That's just called a curriculum.
very thematically connected, I guess you could
Yes.
say, and that is Spectre Ops. It is a hidden movement game that really could have just about any theme wrapped around it, but the sci-fi theme really works well. You have an agent that is trying to get into this corporation to blow up some things, and you have a team of hunters that are trying to stop him from doing so. And the tech, the gadgetry, everything that these hunters have is just really makes that sci-fi theme come alive. So I really enjoy hidden movement games. This one's one of the less difficult ones to play, and it is a lot more fun in that in that respect. So Spectre Ops.
If they do catch
It's a
a
good
spy,
choice.
My number
they torture
6.
him.
I like that. No,
That was
I
my
like
number
that.
11.
Number 11.
That's a good pick. I don't like the game as much as you too, but I think the theme is great.
You didn't like that, but I thought your frowns the whole game were like.
I always frown when I play games.
No, you don't.
I don't like giving anything away.
You frown much more.
We're playing Pandemic.
My number 6 is also on another planet, but it's not Mars. It's something else. I don't recall what it's called. It's called Rising 5, this game.
Astros. It's on.
That's right, Astros. That's right. Because it's part of the title.
Oh, I was like, how do you know that?
Rising 5, The Ruins of Asteros.
Yeah. Actually, Astros is where the runes.
Subtitles of games.
Astros is where the runes came from. You're actually in a different planet. You don't know.
You are incorrect, sir.
Fine. Stop reading the flavor text. Anyway, Rising 5 is a co-op game, app assisted, if you want it to be, which you should,
You
because
should.
it really helps. Very simple game, very short game, plays in about 30-35 minutes, punchy, great artwork, kind of feels like a co-op game meets Mastermind because you're trying to solve a puzzle in it as well. Sam really likes it, I really like it as well.
Yes.
Just a great co-op game.
I like
Tom would rather
it.
play Terraforming Mars where he pretends to grow carrots on the moon or something. Who cares?
Potatoes.
On Mars! It's in the name!
Potatoes.
Venus next.
Ooh. He got you on that one.
Rising 5, the runes of some other place.
Astros.
That's it.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5, I guess if you wanted to be a stickler about it, could have been put on last week's list or
Good.
last list, but it is focused entirely on ground combat, and that is Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Gotcha.
That is my number 5. No.
Wait, the
it's-
one on the ground?
Yes.
You're fine.
It takes place completely on the ground. There are no spaceships in it unless, like the scenario says, you need to get to your spaceship in the docking bay. But then it never says anything about going up in space.
Does anyone jump off the ground? Because technically,
No,
in
you
space.
can't do that. You can't sit. No.
No, because Darth Vader catches you all and chokes you all to death. You never make it, so you never get to space.
okay, fine, you're good.
That's dark. But Star Wars
back, baby.
Imperial Assault is a great game. I tend to like the skirmish where I assemble my team, you assemble your team, and we fight more than the campaigns and the different things that come out. But which is strange because other games I'm the opposite. I like scenarios and I like all that kind of stuff. But for Imperial Assault, it just kind of works out that way where I like the skirmishing a little bit better than the campaign version. But that's just me. Still a great game, though. My number 5, Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Okie dokes. My number 5 has been mentioned already. This is
Crossover!
Time Stories.
Ooh.
And again, it's here because I think the theme is strong. I think it's stronger than.
Yeah.
Was it on your
would-
list?
I
I
would
think it's
agree.
stronger than you were saying because yes, while you are gone to a new location and all that, that sci-fi never really fades for me. Maybe because I like sci-fi, but
I think that's
I always
why I'm
like this
disliking
idea
the
of-
newer ones more because I feel like some of them are getting rid of the sci-fi more.
yeah,
The last one we played, I didn't feel sci-fi from the minute we started.
no, there was not a whole lot of callback or even hints or winks or anything like that. Not many of them, and I like when they do that stuff.
I agree.
And there was one scenario, I forget which one, that where you had a little thing, you found a mechanical object floating around or was following you around or something. And I love those moments of going like, hey, remember, future, sci-fi. I like that. So, yeah, Time Stories, when they do it right, when they do a good scenario that's filled with story and both inhabits the world in which they put you in a pod and the world that you got sent to at the same time, as much as they can anyway, then it really sinks for
The
me.
fantasy one?
He was making that up so he wasn't spoiling. Or was he?
I don't think they make you ever like be in both at the very same time. I just mean when they don't forget where you came from during the
He was
story.
talking about
Yeah.
the thing you mentioned.
Oh, the
earlier.
thing?
that follows
I think
you
it's in the
around. I can't
Egyptian
remember.
one.
I
Is
think
it the
he's
Egyptian
making
one?
that up.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, my number 5, TIME stories.
That's true. It is.
I don't think anyone's playing a game about the spice. Would you like to play some time stories?
No, but it's technically
Yeah,
an
it's the
abbreviation.
acrostic. It's the
All right,
acrostic.
well, if you type it in, you'll get it. All right. My number 5 takes place in the future, where 4 different factions all think that their way is the best way to save Earth after destruction, and that is Anachrony.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Huh.
Anachrony is a really solid game. I was not expecting to enjoy this. It's a heavy Euro game for sure.
Very much so.
It's worker placement, and I tend to really like
Yeah.
worker placement.
Yes.
And this worker placement, the different workers mean stuff, and also it doesn't hurt if you play with the expansion and has the giant mechs.
No, the giant mechs are absolutely essential.
Okay, but they're essential to the theme to some degree, and they do look good on the board. I really
Oh,
like
they
having
very
them
much
there.
do, but they're just placeholders.
Yeah, that's fine, but they're great.
Yes, they
and,
are.
And they should be painted by someone. I don't have the game, but Anachrony.
I thought you did.
No, well, someone. Did you take it?
Kenny, you should have seen Kenny's face. Kenny was like,
Yeah, but but it's a really solid. I feel like every game of this will be different. There's going back and forth in time a little bit in this game, and it does it pretty well. Like you can borrow resources from yourself in the future, but then you got to pay them back because you're sending them back to yourself in the past.
Okay.
I like that concept.
That's funky.
It's basically just the same thing as debt. Debt's sci-fi because you're borrowing from future Tom.
Any debt game would have worked here. My next one is going to be Age of Steam.
So my number 5 is Anachrony.
Number 4.
I'm a little nervous about number 4.
Space.
the
Final
frontier. My number 4 is
I think time is the final frontier.
also
Time.
falls. Are you done?
The Final Frontier. Thank you.
All right.
That was going to kill me. It's going to choke me up. You know how it is.
All right, so my number 4 falls within that same category that Scythe falls into, and that is that alternative history. And this one is a game that I have loved for a very long time. It is very deeply out of print at this point.
What is this?
Tannhäuser.
Oh, yes, of course.
And
How could I
it
forget?
has, somebody said that Diesel Punk is what you call the Hellboy universe. That's the Hellboy universe is what Diesel Punk is called. Steampunk is that other thing that other people
Steampunk
call it.
is like Victorian age, late 1800s,
And diesel-
steam-powered machinery, yes.
And Diesel Punk is
Jules Verne.
Hellboy?
Diesel Punk, I've heard that term. I don't use it, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. But anyway, Tannhäuser is very much has that Hellboy universe feel to it, where you have this supernatural element because the German characters have been dabbling too far into the occult, and they're pulling these guys out of some Cthulhu thing-esque thingy, whatever you want to call it. But it also has a whole bunch of different kinds of tech. The Russians are bringing in some different kinds of tech. There's a faction of Japanese. There's a faction of Americans. It's just this alternative timeline that happens right at the beginning of World War II. And it just takes off this tangent. And it's a really great, has one of the best line of sight mechanisms ever done. And I'm going to say that every single time I bring up this game because I want it to come back. Fantasy Flight, you need to do this.
I guess Dust falls in this category too then.
It does.
All the Dust games.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it
same
does.
thing,
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I love that setting, that kind of setting.
That's my number 4.
Do you like Man in High Castle TV show then?
I've never seen it.
Why would you? Oh, you gotta watch that, dude.
I don't have the internet.
Wait, what did
I'm
you
gonna
say?
take that hat and beat you with it.
Did you say Mennonite?
Man in the High
Man in
Castle.
the High Castle.
Oh, Man in the High Castle. I thought you said Mennonite TV Castle. I was like,
That's coming.
that's strange.
No, I mean the whole alternate history, but like
Yeah,
mixing.
yeah.
You know, like one of my favorite books is a book in which It's World War II, and a squadron of German officers are traveling, and they stay one night in a castle, an abandoned castle, and the castle is it's owned by a vampire. Like a vampire lives in that abandoned castle.
It sounds like horror.
It is, really, but it's that whole like mixing fantastical or science fiction things with history. That cross section I find really just, I don't know, it's such a great setting, you know?
Yeah, it is.
It makes me think of that, like the Cthulhu-esque monster stuff.
All right, my number 4 is not actually in space.
Ooh, here we go. Space.
Even though the words in space are.
And is there a...
Oh, okay, got it.
Anyways,
Clank.
it's escape. No, it's escape from the aliens in outer space.
Oh, I thought it was Clank in space.
The title literally just
says outer space, my
in
man.
outer space. You are in outer space.
If you would have picked Escape from the Aliens and just left it at that,
Yeah, but the
that's
fact
fine.
is this game takes place on a space station or something. You're all inside it. Not much different than Xenomorph for.
What happens if you crack open a
Level
window?
7 of
You're
it.
in space.
Xenoshift? Xenoshift takes place on a planet. It doesn't take place on a
Planet
base.
surface. What happens if you crack open a window? Nothing. That's my.
That's bad weather. Did you not hear?
Mud. Oh,
Yes,
never mind, Michael.
Anyway, this game is one of the tensest games I've ever played in my life because
Most
everyone
tensed.
is
Most
writing
tense.
down.
I think that's how you say it. But it's okay. Go ahead. Write down what?
I'm writing down grammar, Nazi. Right. But anyway,
And then vampires. We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back around.
so anyway, you're writing down your locations, and everyone is telling them, but some people are lying. One or more people are aliens hunting down the other players. It's very, very knuckle gripping for me, anyway, because I'm white knuckle. You know, I'm sitting
There
there,
you go.
especially when I am the a human, because every time someone gets closer, you're like, "I'm an alien," and you're trying to run. I like it a lot. I think it's a very good sci-fi. This is Alien, the movie, not
Yes.
Aliens.
Right.
Yes. The last time I played this game, it was last year at UKGE, and that was
Actually, I think
probably
2 years ago. No.
Was it 2
Yeah,
years?
Yeah.
That's right. You weren't there. Maybe that's why it's a better memory.
That was hurtful. That was very hurtful.
My number 4 is filled with tears and disappointment.
What I was going to say is that it was the best. I think that game is heavily dependent upon the group that you're playing. You can play that with a group of people then and just really bombs. And then you play that, game with a different group of people and it's just like it soars.
I think it's because the players are expected to bring so much to the table.
I guess so.
What the game gives you is some sheets of paper with hexagons on it and a couple of pencils. What you
Yeah.
bring to the game
You're right.
is a lot more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why it can bomb. Anyway, my number 4 is sci-fi. It is sci-fi. It's a game called Atlantis Rising. And while it sounds like fantasy, it's actually sci-fi because
I'm trying to remember now what the theme of the game was. I mean,
Atlantis is sinking, and you and the other people of the island are trying to build a scientific contraption made of science to escape.
That's true, though. I do remember that now. Why is it called Atlantis
Would've been
Rising?
better if you had said...
They're lifting the island and putting it through a portal, I think.
Yeah, but it should be called
Which
Atlantis
is
Sinking, because that's pretty much what happens during the course of the game.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's definitely sinking. You're trying to keep it afloat with all these different contraptions.
You're trying to teleport it actually
Yeah.
somewhere. So you're finding reactors and you're putting together like all sort of contraptions.
They are remaking this game.
They are.
Oh,
and,
really?
Which is, I was like looking at my list. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to mention this game again. I'm going to hear garbage that it's out of print. I'm like, oh no, wait, it's coming back. I feel okay about putting it on the list.
He's like, oh, it's in print. Off.
Yes. Oh, it's coming back? No. They are remaking it, yes, with a few changes. I just read some of those about a month ago, actually, and it sounds good. Anyway, Atlantis Rising is a really fun co-op game, and I'm realizing how many co-op games are on my list. Quite a few.
Shocking.
Anyway, that's my number 4.
Number 3.
My number 3 is Ready Player One. Well, not really, but it feels like one of the
game?
scenes from Ready Player One where you can be any avatar you want, just run around and fight all the other avatars. And that is Duel of Ages. That's right, I brought Duel of Ages in again, baby. It's sci-fi, and it's definitely sci-fi because the theme of Duel of Ages, which is extremely strong, is that there's this gigantic alien living on Earth.
It is not strong.
This gigantic alien living on Earth, and they are sleeping or whatever, and they wake up, and they realize that there's an evil enemy coming to Earth that's going to fight them, and this alien doesn't know how to fight, so this alien creates this holographic battle dome and brings in heroes from time and space to fight each other, watching their tactics so that this alien might learn to fight off the evil force coming.
And the fact that he had to work so hard to explain the theme to you should tell you just how thematic it really is.
Yeah, well, forget that theming. The fact is you can have giant robots with bows and arrows against Robin Hood. It's a mix of creatures. I could put HeroScape here too, but I did not because HeroScape feels slightly more superhero to me, and that might be because I added 200 superheroes to it.
Let alone the fact that HeroScape is like 200% better than
It's also
Duel
out of
of
print,
Ages.
so ching.
They're both out of print. Although you could probably find a copy of Duel of Ages pretty cheap somewhere. I like it though. I like it.
Wonder why.
That's the wrong. What?
No, it's fine.
I wonder why.
Thank you.
Anyway, is it me?
Yeah.
My number 3 also happens in some other place. I'm not sure where, if they specify. But you're drilling down into the surface, and since we're talking about video games here.
Down in
this is kinda
Goblin Town.
Kind of like Dig Dug. This is a game called Super Motherload.
I actually didn't put this on my list because I didn't think it was sci-fi enough.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely sci-fi. They got, they're finding alien skulls and stuff.
I guess it feels. I love the game.
Yeah.
It just feels very abstract.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it felt. It's this far up the list, I guess I should say, because it doesn't feel that abstracted to me. I think the digging is actually well represented.
You find a skull, you're like, yes, the enemy is mine.
And then you get a thing for it, like you get some sort of bonus for it. It didn't feel that abstracted to me.
2 points.
There's that too. Yeah. I think the skulls translate into a special ability, though. It's been a while. Anyway, I really like it. You are on some planet drilling down. You're building a deck of cards. It's a very minor element of deck building in the game, really. But you are sort of getting better at discovering what's under the surface of the planet, and it's got this great mechanism in which you lay out a single layer of the surface of the planet, and then once you breach that, you actually grab another sort of slab of cardboard and put it below that one, and so you continue digging deeper and deeper, finding better things. I like that a lot. So yeah, I like this game quite a bit. Super Motherload, I don't know, it just works for me. It's my number 3.
It was on my list of things I thought about for sure.
All right, my number 3 is probably going to give me a lot of hate from you people out there.
Allow me to represent.
That's just because y'all ain't got imaginations like us do. King of Tokyo is my number 3.
That's sci-fi.
Yeah,
of course.
it's definitely sci-fi.
Dragons are sci-fi.
What is it?
Oh, I was thinking about something else.
If it's not
Cyber
sci-fi,
bunnies, cyber. The word cyber is there. Also, bunny. That's science fiction Agricola, baby.
you're not helping very much.
I'm sorry. King Kong. No, that's some sort of,
Yes.
And then the, yeah, sci-fi.
Oh my goodness, that's so interesting.
No, I definitely think King of Tokyo is definitely sci-fi. It's so high on my list because I've played it so often, and it's such a versatile game. Almost, I would be comfortable in most situations bringing this one to the table, no matter who is at the table, whether it's a gamer, non-gamer, 80-year-old dude from my church, whatever it might be, because I think they could really pick it up and have fun with it. So I just really enjoyed it a lot. It definitely has the sci-fi theme to me. It's definitely not just sci-fi, but a heavily sci-fi in my opinion. King of Tokyo, my number 3.
That'll work.
I'm not arguing about anything. That way, my picks are safer.
Number 2.
All right, we're at number 2s now, yeah? All right, my number 2 has been mentioned by another individual.
And me.
By me.
No, it doesn't cross over you.
You.
I'm gonna say it is number 2. This is your number 2?
Yes.
Oh, I'm split here between two things.
It can't be Nexus Labs. That would be too high.
Raptor.
No.
I chose wrong.
What was the other one?
Rising 5, I
Rising
think.
5, Runes of
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody knows it's Astros unless they write it down.
That's
You
true.
gave yourself away.
You were cheating. And I felt.
I would have known it anyway. Rising 5, Runes of Astros is a great game and for all of the reasons that Z talked about earlier. It plays quickly. It really feels like a cooperative game. I mean, very, very strongly. But there is a puzzle aspect to it as well. I like the dice rolling that's in it. I like using the different special abilities, using some of the stuff that comes in the not really expansion, but the deluxe edition. Not just the miniatures. The miniatures are fine, but the extra stuff, the other boards that come, because there's
That stuff is in the other one too.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, but it's just really a great game. It has a lot of replay value as well because the puzzle is never going to be the same. It's always going to be different. And the app assistant is great.
Yes.
Really brings that game alive a lot. So that's my number 2, Rising 5, Runes of Astros.
Good choice. That's me.
That's right. No, you did your number 2 already.
No,
you
I haven't.
What's your number 2?
It's a game that's been mentioned, so I'm not going to talk about it. Sam said it already.
Pandemic Legacy.
Oh, okay.
No, I got no pandemic games on my list.
What?
Games that aren't very good. Oh, those games are soft. Soft sauce. It's Scythe.
Scythe.
The Runes of Russia.
Scythe. It's a hard T.
Runes of Russia.
Scythe.
I don't know.
Did you just say Scythe?
No, I did not say Scythe. It's Scythe.
That's what I said. Scythe.
Scythe.
Okay, go ahead.
What did you think I said?
I agree with you.
What did you think I said?
I thought you said Scythe.
He did say Scythe. This is some
What is
strange
happening?
time warpy stuff going on here. This
Man,
is
let's do the
truly
time
a
warp
sci-fi
again,
list.
okay?
First step to the right.
Let's do the
Anyway,
time warp
Scythe
again.
is probably the least pronounceable title on my list.
Scythe.
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 No, like I said about, like I was agreeing with Sam when he was talking about it. I love, like I said, the mixture of real history and then an alternate sort of universe laid on top of that. But like you were saying, the thing that really sells this for me, the setting that is, the game is great, but the setting is that it does feel so lived in. Kind of like the good Star Wars movies feel lived in. You know, you'll find scuff marks on things. Nothing looks shiny. Not everything like looks shiny and new and like it's not used.
I love how he thinks he needs to provide that moniker now. The good Star Wars movies.
Yeah, because some are not so good. Like that whole like Empire Strikes
right.
Someone or whatever. That sucks.
No, he is saying like the episodes 1 through 3.
You just
Everything.
ticked off a lot of people.
No,
They
he's
know
saying,
I'm kidding. Come
He's saying episodes 1
on.
through 3, everything was super shiny.
Yeah, the prequels, everything looks brand new because it's all CGI. And so it doesn't feel lived in. And I think that Scythe finds a good way to do that, to make everything sort of look worn down a little bit, used. You'll see like in the distance sometimes a broken down mech that just got abandoned because what are you going to do with it? So I like that. I like that feeling. It's a great thematic setting. Just puts you in that world.
I
And it is a
agree.
very interesting world.
Oh, you agree.
So Scythe is my number 2.
My number 2 takes place on another planet. I don't know what the planet
How's
is.
it pronounced?
I don't know what the planet is. It's probably in the,
How's
in
the
lore.
title
Yeah,
of
but
the
everyone's
game
fighting over this
pronounced?
planet, and that is Cry Havoc.
That's not how you say
4
that.
different factions. The Troglodytes, also known as the Avatar
That's the one
people.
I thought you were going to say a while ago when you said 4 tribes fighting over a planet thing. I thought you were saying this.
Yeah, no, the Trogs, the
Troglodytes.
robots, the Marines, and the hippies, the elder people.
Hippies.
Not
The
The
elf-
Eurogamers, that's what I call them, because
Eurogamers.
that's what they're doing. They're coming in, they're like,
They play.
we're here to
that's how
score
they-
points.
That's how they play that game. That is correct.
I'm sure they have some sort of name.
This game is all sci-fi. All sci-fi, that's all there is in it. Just making stuff, blowing each other up, fighting over it. It's kind of like Avatar the movie, but cool.
Definitely fighting
Whoa.
over unobtainium.
No, won't me.
Avatar is cool. It was
But
also cool the
cooler.
first time
Cooler.
that it came out, and it was called Dances with Wolves.
That's right.
Do you say this every time when you say the word Avatar?
Yes.
I think you've used that line before.
I have.
Yes.
It's not a line. It's
Dice
true.
Tower's becoming rerun central.
It's the truth.
Anyhow, but Cry Havoc is still holding pretty strong for me. Still haven't played the expansion, but need to get around to it. But really like the game.
Oh, yeah.
Cry Havoc.
And finally, number 1.
Jeez, you just put a dent in the
13.
table.
There's no dent in the
Made you
table.
check.
What's wrong with you?
13.
See, that's bad luck. That's bad juju.
Let's play strike.
Okay.
Oh, crap.
Now I'm a 19.
This is actually might be an interesting variant to do this. Wow.
If you could actually hit anything.
I'm taking that back.
No.
No.
Yeah, baby. Fine, I missed. Fine.
Oh, you had a 19. He had a 19.
I
you had a
shall be
10.
last.
I had
Z
like.
will be first. We'll go Z, Sam, me.
Oh, you're gonna do like that?
I
Okay.
feel like Sam's has already been said, but I don't know about yours.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
well,
no, I know yours.
what is it, human?
Is it a card game?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Is it a card game that
It's
takes
like a
place in a universe
softball.
that has other games?
Shut up. Yes. I already even put it on this list.
Was this the first game you thought of?
Yes! 51st State, yes.
51st State.
And it's the same setting as Hiroshima X. I just find this more thematic at the end of the day. And that's more hard work, basically. But there's a little bit more involvement going on. You'll identify with the group a little bit more strongly, I think. And it's not just fighting, though you can do that, but you're sort of living in the world a little more than just having like a skirmish over some spit of land somewhere. I like the post-apocalyptic stuff, and I think this game, especially the version you can get now, the 51st State Master Set, is
You gotta say that too. When you do.
has been sort of modernized and streamlined enough, and I think it's now way more approachable than it ever was in the past. It used to be a game that was really hard to get into. I think now, if you've been put off by the iconography before, or it was just not something you felt you could get into and haven't tried it, try the new one. It's really good stuff. They're a EuroLeague game as well in many ways. A lot of resource management.
Yes.
So, 51st State Master Set. That's my number 1.
My number 1 has already been mentioned by
Me.
both individuals, actually.
What did we cross over on already?
Time Stories is the only crossover we had.
Time Stories is number
Wow, I thought you'd say Level 7 to make a protocol for sure.
No, that was my number 11.
Oh.
Wow.
Time Stories, I like Time Stories better than both of these guys, matter
Yes.
of fact.
Which is strange because it didn't start out that way.
No, it did not. It did not.
Things change. It's so
but,
weird.
yeah, no,
Z actually has hair under that hat.
it's...
Long, luxurious locks.
No, I really enjoy how they use I've always been intrigued with time travel. Back to the Future movies, one of the main reasons I liked them was the whole aspect of time travel. We've played games, I've really expected a lot out of a game like Temporum, which horribly. But I was wanting it to be very good. I liked Anachrony for its time travel aspect to it. It's just something that I've always been kind of drawn back to, and I love the episodic nature of time stories, where it feels like these different episodes of a TV show like The Travelers. And it just comes back. Some of the things have been hit or miss for me. Some of the situations that those people are sent back to have been hit or miss, but overall, this is a great sci-fi themed game, and I think it's more palatable than some of these other ones, because some of these other ones are heavily tropesy type sci-fi, but this one is a little bit less so.
Yeah.
Scenario's a little tropesy at this point. I'd like to see
that's
something
true.
different there for once.
But again, if you don't like the tropes in that one episode, then you have a whole bunch of other episodes you could go.
That is true. I mean, what you're saying, I think what you're saying is that always begins the same way. Is that kind of what you're hinting at?
Kind of.
I would love to see them mess with that. I would love to see them mix up the formula.
Yeah.
What happens when you get in the pods one time and it actually does malfunction? Because they're always doing this whole
We're in the pods right now. They did malfunction. My name is Rexar473.
No, Traveler 478.
Adam Bob. And you disappoint me.
I hate Bob so much.
All right, what's yours,
What's
man?
your number one?
My number one is very similar to a lot of the other ones theme-wise on my list.
Do we know
and
what this might be?
I'd like to clarify that I don't know when this is coming back in print. I feel sure that it will come back in print. But to clarify, I don't know any more information.
What could
And
this
that
be?
is-
What could give us a hint. Several hints.
Well, it involves aliens and humans. Humans fighting aliens. It takes place on either an alien planet or in a space base. Has more miniatures, but Sam doesn't call them miniatures. He calls them lumps of plastic.
Is this the real time
Project
game?
Elite?
Yeah,
Project
the real time
Elite.
game. Yes.
Oh,
Man.
this
That's what
game.
did
No,
it.
it's a
That's what
good
did
game,
it. You had to
yeah,
mention the
but-
quality of the plastic for us to get it. Just saying.
Oh.
Well,
the lack
again-
thereof, rather.
Well, again, I have hopes, maybe more than hopes, that this will be reprinted. Don't know when, but even with the not great miniatures, I love this game.
No, it's a
Yes.
fun game.
If it had great miniatures, I'm totally on board. But I just like this. It's a real-time go-through fight. There's so many of these games where they make things so complex. And we played a lot of them that didn't make our list. Where there's the one from Mr. B Games, there's the one from Ares Games about, you're on a planet and there's aliens coming and you need to
Yes.
roll this and do that and this. Project Elite, you roll dice and just throw the aliens off the board. You literally grab them and throw them off.
Yes.
It's fast, it's fun, it's simple, and every time I play it, I have a blast.
It's a real-time game where you're rolling dice and killing things, and aliens, that is.
Aliens are
And alpha gamers need not apply. Because the guy might be shouting in my ear, and I'm like, you know what, your
Don't
aliens
care.
ain't gonna.
That's right.
I'm sorry, I'm over here. So that's my favorite.
It's a very different game than pretty much everything else on our list.
What were some of your runner-ups?
Android Netrunner had to be a runner-up for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I almost
Android
have put Android
Netrunner.
on the list because I love that universe.
Yeah.
That's a cool universe.
Yeah, it is. So Android Netrunner, yeah. Russian Crush. Saltlands.
Wow, Russian Crush.
Yeah.
That's a blast from the past.
Nexus Ops. Steam Park. Technically sci-fi, but yeah, it was too thin for
I
me.
thought about Steam Park
Yeah.
because it's
Really?
robots. They're robots going to an amusement park.
But it's not really
Oh, my
thin. Yeah.
goodness.
Risk Legacy. I had Mechs vs. Minions on the list. A couple of other sprinkled things, but those are the highlights.
I had Warhammer 40K, Lords of Hellas.
Well, I put a question mark on that one. Is that sci-fi?
Yes, it has too much tech for it not to be sci-fi.
No, I get that.
It
but
falls in the
it's
same.
really fantasy that they're pretending is sci-fi. You literally could take out all the sci-fi and change it to monsters. And
No, but I mean, you look at the artwork, you look at the models.
Oh no, I get that.
It's all
like,
sci-fi.
No, but that is how sci-fi works in many of these games, though, Tom. You arrive at an explanation, and if the way they explain it is with science or magic, that's it. Just think about it, right? Like, we need to go over there and we need to, like, annihilate that character and rescue that thing. If the way we do it is by floating over there and zapping them with, magic juice.
That's the Force.
But if the other way we do it is we, jetpack over there and,
I get it, but I'm
photon
saying that this one
torpedoes.
is-
I mean, it's the same thing.
This one though is beat for beat Greek mythology.
It is, and the dudes are wearing
With
like
tech.
armor.
Yeah, but if I didn't,
It's not
if
powered
I
by
didn't see the tech in
magic.
the pictures, I wouldn't even know.
No, of course you would. They look like if you didn't see the pictures. Wait, what do you mean?
What I'm saying is, if the artist drew things differently, I wouldn't know it was a tech game.
Yeah, but that's the
That's how
theme.
they all work.
Anyway, well, I'm just saying.
Lords of
I put a
Hellas.
Think
Level 7.
Duel of Ages would be published if
Right.
Go ahead.
Level 7 Omega Protocol, Neuroshima Hex, Wasteland Express Delivery Service. I wanted to put that on my
Oh,
list, but
yeah.
I didn't consider
'Cause of the-
post-apocalyptic
okay, sure,
sci-fi, and then Cry Havoc. Yeah, those are all my runner-ups.
Yeah, I had Risk Legacy like Z did.
I thought you might
about
put
that.
Raptor on yours.
I had that older game. Remember Earth Reborn?
Just didn't.
Remember Earth Reborn?
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Yeah.
that one came to mind first before I remembered Project Elite.
Oh, yeah.
Earth Reborn. That game fail. Oh my.
And then all the Android stuff. There's Android Netrunner, but there's also Android, which Android is like sci-fi theme, awesome.
Right.
And then, what's the one Baccarino designed that was a ripoff of Temple?
Temporum?
No, where you had to run in and get back
Oh,
out.
Android.
Infiltration.
Infiltration,
Oh,
yes.
that.
Sorry,
okay.
it's not a ripoff. It's just a very close copy.
That's sci-fi. Yeah.
Well, it's in the same universe,
It's in
right?
the same universe.
They even
yeah.
made that recent one that was basically abstract, where you were like enclosing.
That
grids
was
on
a
board.
reprint of an actual abstract game.
Right.
Yes.
Sci-fi is still one of my favorite, and actually, if you tell me there's a sci-fi game that's not involving space, I'm actually a little more interested, especially if it's not. A lot of my things were still aliens on planets and stuff, but if it's time travel, I assume it's a bad game, frankly, because 9 out of 100, 99% of time travel games seem to be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, they do.
But I tend to like that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm always, if a game is presented as a sci-fi game, it always interests me a little bit more than some historical theme.
I would rather not split up sci-fi like we have, though. Because, I mean...
Next time we come around, like in
No, that's the thing.
in
I mean,
4 years, we're actually
we can
going to
make
split it out even more.
We can make 10 sci-fi subgenre.
That's coming.
Well, next week it's going to be space station,
Aliens.
Star Wars
No,
only.
that's stupid.
Space walks.
That's stupid. I mean,
Top
you can
10
make
space
sci-fi
walks.
horror. You can make sci-fi
Farming.
post-apocalyptic. You could make sci-fi.
You probably could make
farming.
a whole sci-fi farming
You
subgenre.
could make a. I mean, there's so many. I just don't like those delineations. That's all.
All
Sorry,
right. Well,
man.
tell us what you think. Tell us what games we missed. Tell us where we're wrong. Why do I even say that?
They always.
I'm sorry. What I meant was like, subscribe, and share. I ended up saying tell us where we're wrong more than...
That's true.
Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks for watching.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks.